Story 1. The Shadow. I was about 13 when we moved into a new apartment. We had been there about a week when I thought I would explore the whole place. I'd gone over the whole thing when I noticed a door in the dining room closet at the ceiling, just big enough for a person to climb through. I'm going to take a look myself, I thought. So I grabbed a flashlight and up I went. I got my head in and had the flashlight on. I was just starting to get a good look around when I felt this cold breeze on the back of my head. It felt like someone was breathing on my neck. This was in the middle of summer, and the attic crawl space was hot. Yet the breeze on my neck was cold. I felt a feeling of extreme terror and practically fell out of the opening, dropping my flashlight as I came down. It took me almost an hour to get enough courage to close the opening back up again. A week passed, and I started to see things out of the corner of my eye. First, it was just sudden glimpses, but then it started happening more and more often. I finally realized that I only started seeing these things when the door to the opening, the door to the closet, was left open. I told my mother to please keep that door closed. She never asked why. She just said that she would, but it never failed. I could always tell when the door was open. One night, I was sitting in the living room, in the dark, talking to one of my friends on the phone, when I saw something look out of my bedroom, right in the direction of the chair I was sitting in. Right away, I dropped the phone and ran into the dining room, where my mom and her boyfriend were sitting. I slammed the door to the attic closed, and even yelled at her to keep that damned door shut. When I went back, the creature I saw peeking out of my door was gone. As long as that door was closed, I never saw anything out of the ordinary. We've since moved, and I don't see these things anymore. But just thinking about that house gives me the creeps. Story 2. Unexplained. I purchased my first condo in Northern California, and a friend gave me a handmade simple basket with pink flowers as a housewarming gift. About a year later, I was transferred to Southern California. In my new condo that I was renting, I put this handmade basket on my kitchen counter. Less than a year later, I came home from work, turned on the TV, and was standing in my kitchen fixing something to eat when I realized that something was just not right. I noticed that I could see the TV from the kitchen, completely unobstructed. The flower basket was gone. Normally, I'd have to slide the basket to one side in order to view the TV while standing in the kitchen. I searched and searched the entire condo, which was not very large. I could never find the basket. My building had excellent security, and I was on the second floor, so I don't think that anyone broke in just to steal a basket of flowers. Nothing else in the condo was missing. Also, while living in that condo, I woke up in the middle of the night and saw a man standing in my bedroom doorway, and then again in my bathroom, sitting in the shower, watching me. At first I thought it was a dream, but now that I think about it, I don't really think I dreamed this. About 4 years went by without incident, well, for the most part. And then I was getting ready to relocate back to Northern California. I purchased a brand new condo. It had just been built. 2 years after that, strange things started happening again. My lights kept burning out. Every couple weeks, 2 light bulbs would burn out, usually always in the bathroom. I kind of thought this was a little excessive, but I also tried not to give it too much thought. One day I was taking a shower. I got out and I looked up at the lights above my mirror and saw them burn out. I was getting tired of changing light bulbs, and I kind of just blew this off and said I'd change them later. A few days passed. I went into my bathroom, turned on the lights, and something made me look up at the lights over the mirror. You know, the ones that had blown out and that I hadn't changed. Well, the bulbs were missing. The sockets that they screw into were empty. I just stared at the empty sockets in disbelief. I live alone, and no one had been over. No one has a spare key to my condo. I know I did not remove those light bulbs. For one, I would have put a new light bulb in its place. And for two, I'm really short, so it's a major production for me to change light bulbs, especially light bulbs over a sink. I would have remembered doing that. I'm starting to think there's something more involved that's causing these frequent events with the light bulbs burning out. I'm starting to keep a log of all these weirdness and all these light bulbs. Maybe eventually something will add up. Story 3. Grandmother. My grandmother died in the spring of 1997, and my family and other relatives that live in the area were attending her service. The pastor didn't really know her, but was saying the usual things about what a nice person she was and blah, blah, blah. Towards the end of the memorial, this guy was winding up. He talked about life everlasting and how the soul never dies. There were 2 lamp posts on either side of her coffin, with flowers and pictures between them. When he gets towards the end of the sermon, one of the lights flicker as he's talking about how the soul goes on forever, and then the darn thing goes out for 15 seconds. Before the light began to act funny, the hair on my arms and neck was standing straight up. I stuck my finger in a light socket, not trying to be funny, but in my head I started to hear the Twilight Zone theme. Grandma was a huge fan of the program. I have a son who's 21 and a daughter who's 17, and they say that they experienced this also. There was probably at least 20 other people in that church with us, and I asked each and every one of them if they experienced anything out of the ordinary. But no, they didn't. I personally think that she was trying to tell whoever could hear that yes, she was still with us, not in a physical body, and that we do survive death. But who knows for sure? Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed these stories. If you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Bye.